At the request of someone, yeah, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna carefully put that goddess back together and find the exact point at which there's a problem, please. Yeah, of course, using safety from hell. Arguably, a problem comes in that computer graphics is defined by most people as rasterization of video game characters. Please. The problem is if you're designing a product, you really that doesn't work. There's another problem that this is a technical area. If I start with a drafting program, that's going to send the wrong message. The goal is not to remove CAD from existence. The goal is to make it workable with existing industry. The place to start actually is cartography. Yeah, we'll just say God says that's where you start. The computer solution for that involves, just simple lines. What you need to be able to do with a computer is put letters and be able to separate those letter areas with lines. I think that this is where the mistake was made. The mistake was introducing the concept of constraints way before it was appropriate. Here's an example of constraints. The idea of constraints can be seen right here on YouTube. It's a constraint that defines the appearance and organization of those things. Now, it should be obvious that CCS is not a valid system for designing really manufacturing or architectural plans of any type. That was a problem. The problem was that the early computer designers, for some reason, were scared to move outside the paradigm of programming language. The new AI provides a solution to that, because in the end, computers don't need it's not a law. The computers think in terms of simple mathematical operations. They can also think in terms of objects. It should be noted that in a modern system, there's encapsulation of operations. Systems now are default enough that you can define the basic computer operation, now better defined as a geometric transformation. That's also a good way to reasonably rate the speed of computers. Please. Computers are now devices that take a set of input geometry, perform a specified geometric transformations called a computer program, and outputs the appearance, the graphed appearance of that, transformed geometry. If that graph is played on a loudspeaker, it's called audio output. Unfortunately, you can't use a mathematics to define a useful geometry. That creates what here at Rio we call a slip system. That is dangerous. That's more dangerous than hell, seriously. A slip system is just so dangerous and real. We're not going to make a slip system. A slip system is one that uses a mathematical logic to define a basic transformation. We're going to use a sane one, the association list. The input geometry must match exactly an input association. The input association is associated to start with exactly one output association. Matches exactly to start is going to mean verbatim string compare. Please. Of course, here you want to use a token system where you tokenize data. The existing Ryoko continues to be the correct solution. I will simply say that the Flowercaster, the Rioan Flowercaster design, has an AI mode. That's what the AI mode is for. The AI mode is to perform numeric or or just say vector comparison. AI. And of course, exactly how to do that needs to be disclosed. But the AI mode in simplest application does exact compare of what should be, what we're just going to call data objects. So basically, it works like this. This might be the comparison table, literally. Sorry, I'm not kidding. If the input is this, please. If this is the input, and these are the two please items in the table, the answer is no solution. That's important. If these are the two items in the table and this is the input, the answer is no solution. Seriously. The topic of resolution or accuracy now determines whether or not comparison occurs, but that is something for high machining, please. The thing is, those people understand that problem perfectly. We're not going to go into that.
Quantitative. Do you need things explained certain ways? We've had, with the amount of feedback we get from people, for example, even with children who are dyslexic, trying to learn, the impediment that creates in the learning.
Is that argument right there is sufficient to say that teachers, seriously, that teachers who work directly with students specify what the problem in the classroom is? Only teachers actively working with elementary school students get to define the solutions future of education. Seriously. I'm going to shut up about any education AI. I'm going to stay silent on that stuff until I have a chance to analyze some of what actual teachers are saying about the classroom. This ends any idea of a real education AI. That's not going to happen. We're going to adapt existing solutions to meet the needs of United States teachers.
Copilot's been able to build my confidence and knowledge within trading options. A perfect example is to develop a trading plan. I didn't think about doing that. It just says to me, if you have any specific questions or need for further clarification, feel free to ask. I love it.
There are two versions of that. One is insane that I'm not going to even mention, please. The other one is even greater insanity of not knowing the difference between Copilot and your financial advisor. Humans on Earth display 5 levels of achievement. This is contrived. There's a 6th level of achievement that's known as Goddess. We're not going to discuss that one. The 5th level of achievement is people who are brave enough to take two things that exist and combine them into something new. That occurs in most countries but does not occur in the United States for reasons that we get into later. The 4th level of achievement is to believe that putting things in new combinations is wrong. The 3rd level of achievement typifies most of the United States today. That is to believe that putting things together in new combinations, i.e. the level 5 achievement, is a crime. The level 2 achievement is being a stupidity. That is used the first option. That level occurs in societies which are plagued by a need for haste. The level 1 achievement is doing anything that's not obviously deaf. Mr. Trump's recent address is an example of level 2 achievement, taking the first option without considering if other available options are an option. Today, level 1 achievement only occurs, I need to say this, in military problem areas in places, we'll just say remote parts of planet Earth. It's going to be, sane. Following the populace. I'm going to say again, following the populace or following a superstar is another example of level 2 achievement. Following a campaign promise fulfillment is generally one legal way to execute the office of President of the United States. This requires continually selecting among the available options, i.e. a level 3 achievement, please. However, always ensuring you choose the option that matches the campaign promise. It's very possible to program Ryoko to do that. Seriously, that's why we're going to talk about this. Robot replacing the president. A computer program that can do what I just said is possible. That process necessarily involves reviewing documents to determine which of several options is the best, or rather, which of several options is the compliance with the campaign promise. Let's pray to God. I don't have to demonstrate that. Okay, most sane people response to that would probably say, did I see somebody playing that on their iPhone or something like that? Seriously. If not, but we have Call of Duty. Anyway, I'm hoping that this conversation does not go on in the background. Hoping that this was not what was said. Okay, what we'll do is we'll get all the cell phones of every American. We'll get the PlayStation 5s of every American. We'll get the computers of every American. And we'll get the iPhones of every American. And get all that C's, and I'll get the palm under control. Sir, please use the word fentanyl in place of computers, PlayStation, and Xbox. And we'll just pretend that you mean that with the word fentanyl. Let's hope that that conversation did not occur behind a certain viewed area. They're saying the big problem here is thinking that Asia is not actually planning on putting something like that together. Or that, certain Americans are stupid enough to disobey God. Please. Because we're going to find out that, there's a rumor. Let's say that. There's a rumor that they're going to release something early for us in the U.S. early in the morning. There's a rumor that's going to come early in the morning, which is going to cause a problem for anybody who's thinking that this type of technology is not required. A sensible speech may have began with words such as, we are very concerned about growing technology independence in Asia. Followed by some words like, we're concerned about their ability to manage, please. We'll just say the Husseins. Of course, at that point, you must go to a certain person. If you can't go to that person, acceptable speech is stuff like, we are studying the issue. We are determining exactly what the capacity of the Chinese is. Okay, so that's actually a country leadership when you say stuff like that. Let's ask the question like, what the hell are the Chinese actually doing? Instead, writing some nonsense about the hooks with the most.
Country with maybe higher birth rates than
but a 4.7 million increase over 75 years.